side, some ups and downs for your life. For 9 years, I was an only child. I wish I had a best friend, a sibling. On December 9th, on December 8th, my wish came true. Bear James, I wish you the happiest life. I love seeing you grow and try new things, like eating solid food. It's so messy. I guess what I'm trying to say is every second with you is amazing, because Bear, I love you now, always, and I always will.
Beautiful. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Would you like to give him a little taste of that sweet stuff? Okay. And you guys can have a sip of it too. How does that taste, dude? And Brian and Amy, I'm going to invite you to come over here. I'm going to wrap you in this tali. Amy, remind us, where does this tali come from?
It's my father from his father's stuff.
Very special. So come on over here, both of you, please. All three of you, really. Okay. I'm going to put this around your shoulders. Good. You're good?
I think so.
Got it?
You got it. Yeah.
It's a little small, but it'll stretch.
Yeah. You're skinny little
Little Barrett. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and guard you always. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God lift God's presence to you with grace. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom. May God look with you in favor and give you the big Jewish gift that our world so sorely needs, which is shalom, or peace. We can all say amen.
Amen.
And this blessing we all get to participate in, for milestones, for giving us life, allowing us to reach this day, for sustaining. We can say Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen. We have to say Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. All right. Very special. And you did a great job. You did such a great job. Mazel Tov, everybody.
Thank you.
I didn't get the people. Okay, and from Simcha to Simcha, as we get started with our service, Devri, it's your bat mitzvah. That's right. We're all cheering you on. And as part of your leading us, you're going to come up with your mom and grandma to light the Shabbat candles. Yeah, Devri! Woo! Come over here. Watch your step. Okay. All right. It's easier to come through. Okay. No, it's okay. I just don't want you to trip. We love you, Deborah. Wow, who was that random spectator who just happened to come in and show appreciation for this special moment? I wonder. Okay, so Deborah, you want to read this one? And we're on page 120 in your books. You want to come read over here, Mike?
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Amen. All right, go ahead and kindle that light with mom and grandma. You want to read it? You can do it.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Amen. Amen. Good job. See, that was painless, right? Please, you can have a seat. We'll see you soon, guys. All right, everybody, we continue in our service as we get into Kabbalat Shabbat. This is the medieval mystical service that we received to feel a special presence that's different from the ordinary weekday life that we go through. We feel a special neshama yetera, an additional soul, an essence within ourselves that feels joyful, enriching, a new and deeper breath that we breathe in and breathe out just for Shabbat. And so we'll continue on page 128 with that part of our service. Begin with Yedid Nefesh. Now, our friends from TBT know that Judaism is not a spectator sport. We like to sing, we like to celebrate. Some of us like to shout things out from the back, but it's definitely okay to sing. And in fact, it helps the prayers ascend. That's what the Hasidic masters tell us. So I invite you to join together in this melody. Yedid nefesh av harachaman mishoch avdecha el ritzonecha yarutz avdecha kemo aya yishtachave el mul adorecha yerai rai 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 yerai rai 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 yerai rai 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 rai. Here's that melody from the top. Let's sing together. Service continues on page 138. This psalm called Lecha Dodi is the crown jewel in the Kabbalat Shabbat service. It's the time of greatest joy because it recalls a wedding celebration, but instead of having two beloved partners coming together in marriage, the partners are God and the people Israel. And so imagine this like the biggest party, the biggest reunion you can imagine every time we sing it on Shabbat. We'll sing the first few verses, verses 1, 2, and 5. And then when we get to verse 9, which is the last verse that we'll sing, We're all going to, if it's comfortable, rise and face the entrance as we symbolically welcome Shabbat into our midst. This is on page 138. Oh, and I forgot something. This one has a call and response part, okay? So this time, participation isn't optional. It's necessary in order to make the song work. I'm sorry, I hope you're warmed up. Here we go. At the chorus, I sing Lecha, and then you sing Lecha. Can we try that? First me, then you. Lecha. I feel like that's a little high for you. Let's try it down here. Lecha. Dodi. Nope, that's wrong. I'm just kidding. It has a special additional melody. See, part of the problem is you can't see my face. It has a special additional melody here in the response where I sing do-di, and then you sing do-di. Try that. Do-di. So I sing lecha. But when I sing do-di, you sing do-di. Let's just try that once, okay? It's sounding great already. Lecha. Do-di, do-di, lecha, do-di, likrat kala. We sing that part. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. All together. Lecha, do-di, likrat kala. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Okay, I think you've got it. Let's try one more time from the top. Here we go. Ready? Lecha. Good. Do-di, do-di. Lecha dodi likrat kala. This is at the top of page 138. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 1. Shamor v'zachor v'diborecha. Yishmianu el ha-meuchad Adonai echad U'shemo echad L'shem u'tiferet ve'litila. Here we go. Ready? Lecha dodi. Yes. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Very good. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 2. Likrat Shabbat lechu b'nei lecha. Hihi mekor haberacha. Me'erosh mikerem mesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha. Good. Dodi, dodi. Lecha dodi likrat kala. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orechu miuri, uri, uri, shidaveri, kevod Adonai alayich nigla, lecha, lecha, dodi, dodi, lecha, dodi, likrat kala. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. I invite you to rise if it's comfortable. We face the entrance and welcome Shabbat as a beautiful bride into our midst. Boi v'shalom ateret bala. Gam besimcha uvetzola, tov emunei am sgula. Boi chala, lecha, lecha dodi, likrat kala. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shabbat nekavela. Here's your last chance. Let's hear it. Lecha, lecha, dodi, lecha, dodi, likrat kala. Lenei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha, dodi, likrat kala. Lenei Shabbat nekavela. Oh, when your voices sound out, it sounds so beautiful. Our prayer really ascends. I love that. Let's keep that up. We turn now to our Ma'ariv service, which begins on page 146 with the Baruch Hu. I invite you to please rise again if it's comfortable to do so. And Debbie, this is your 2-minute warning. You're going to come up in just a minute, okay? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. And have a seat as we turn to a prayer for creation, page 148. Let's read together in English at the bottom of the page. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars and their heavenly courses according to plan. You are the creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Together, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 150 for the gift of Torah. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael, Amchavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shofbeinu u'vekumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratcha, u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negeh yomam v'layla. Ve'avatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch ata Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. We're on page 152 for Shema.
Shema.
Shema page 154. בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את מצוותיי והם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מהארץ מצרים להיות לכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם. I wanted to share just a brief reflection here because it's a week that I think needs it. And there will be more to say on Sunday for those of you who can come by for our community gathering. But some of you were at our service last week at Camp Laurelwood, where I quoted this idea from the Talmud that I think is a really beautiful idea. It says, the world exists only because of the breath of school children. And that's a text that I brought to honor our teachers who give so much of themselves for our students. Of course, that idea, the value of the breath of our school children, the beauty and the world building that means, it strikes a much different chord this week in the wake of the horrific violence. My heart has broken this week talking to parents who are fearful to send their children to school. My heart breaks when they tell them that they'll be safe. But the truth is that who knows to believe that in their heart? It's not easy to do in times like this. It seems to me that something has changed within the nation in the last 5 to 10 years. I know that some of you, perhaps many of you, were living here in Connecticut at the time of the Sandy Hook shooting. And I noticed that a sort of change happened in the wake of that horror in Pittsburgh in 2018, where there was that harm at the synagogue, that horrible massacre there. And I remember talking to my confirmation students and just opening a safe space for us to be able to process our feelings, discuss. And I was shocked by how habituated they had become to these events, how numb they were, how the emotional reaction was really, if anything, buried beneath this idea of this is just who we are, this is our normal. And that made me very sad. Perhaps many of us have this reaction now. When we see headlines like this, we feel numb. It's a defense mechanism that I think our bodies create against the regularity of violence, and it's understandable. In a period that's made so many emotional demands of us, I think it's easy to feel tapped out, perhaps to the point of despair. But this is my mini sermon, because really the true words of Torah are coming later. My mini sermon tonight is that Judaism respects despair. I don't know if you heard about it, but there was a rabbi in the Warsaw Ghetto, the Lubavitcher rabbi, who had a tiny little shtibel, a tiny little synagogue. And above that synagogue were written these 3 words: Jews don't despair. Jews don't despair. For when we give into despair, when we feel numb and we forget to open our hearts and feel the brokenness there and in our world, we have given up in a sense, and we have given up a little piece of our humanity. But we always have to remember that change is possible, even when it doesn't feel like it. That's the Jewish way. The Jewish story is that change is possible, justice is possible against every odd and every adversity. And so to that end, our interfaith clergy group is going to be convening a gathering just outside this space on those steps this coming Sunday at 2 p.m. And it's a chance for us to be together, to mourn, to lament the losses and the pain, and importantly, to remember that change is still possible. We are not yet past the point of stopping future tragedies from happening. We will never be at that point unless or until we give up. So I hope you'll join us Sunday, not only to lament and be together, but also to learn about what action is possible. Together, we will cry, but we will also reject despair, and we will discuss actions we all may take. Jews don't despair. We continue with the Amidah on page 164. I invite you to please rise if it's comfortable and join in these blessings. Adonai, sifatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo v'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Page 168. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Michayei hakol atarav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Michalkel chayim bechesed, Michayei hakol berachamim rab. Somech noflim verofei koholim, umatir asurim, umekahayim emunato lishenei afar, micha mocha baal givurot, umido melach, melech memit, umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot ha'kol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei ha'kol. Page 170. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yihallelu Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh. We continue with a moment of tefillah, balachash, silent prayer and meditation. The words in the pages between 170 and 180 may inspire you to take a moment of spiritual respite. Take the time you need to continue your prayer and feel free to have a seat whenever you're ready, but not a moment before them. continue with the meditation for peace on page 178. Please sing along. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rabba Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rabba Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha livarech et amecha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rabba Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rabba Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. At Temple Beth Tikvah, we take a moment in these Friday evening services to honor those who are dealing with life's struggles. We offer a Misha Berach prayer, which in this case is a prayer for healing of all those who are in need of recovery or strength in their body, in their mind, in their spirit. And so I'll share the names of those known within our community and our loved ones. And then we'll have an opportunity, if you'd like, to also share the name of someone you love who's in need of healing. Our temple members include Amy Agranov, April Diamato, Norma Diamond, Ken Gammerman, Henry Gettenberg, Marjorie Hart Glossban, Marcia Jacoby, David Keller, Molly Keller, Josh Lipschitz, Sabrina Maurer, Paula Retsky, and Shula Sturman. We think also of our loved ones, Marie Sammartino, Connie Ambrosino, Ellen Gilder, Mickey Bart, Jay Fliss, Sue Yaris, Joanne Crisulo, Mark Ostreicher, Matthew Pincus, Bart Young, Marvin Goldberg, Barry Cooperberg, Linda Fristman, Paul Fristman, Judy Hanauer Spring, Elaine Jernan, Ben Peck, Martha Potter, Mark Potter, Carol Bartlett, Gloria Newell, Claire Newman, Joan Sidney, Michael Stafford, Ira Weiss, Eileen Zions, and Larry Gala. If there are others who we should add to our prayers this evening, feel free to say their names. For those in our sanctuary today, I'll come around if you'd like to name that person aloud, or you can hold them in your heart. Those of you on Zoom, feel free to add the name into the chat at this time if you wish. We add to our prayers, Carol Rob, Selson, Mersha, Rita Hayat Zarni, We hold all of them in our hearts as we pray for their healing, refuah shlema, complete healing of body, mind, or spirit, as we sing together the words of the Misha Berach on page 371. Berach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Among the many reasons that it's lovely to celebrate so many simchas, so many special occasions like bar and bat mitzvahs, is that it leaves room for some of our leaders within the congregation to step up and teach Torah study while the rabbi and the cantor are away. And so Ethan Horowitz is just one of those people who stepped up, and we're very grateful to everybody who has stepped up in recent weeks and months to lead Torah study, including Ethan and John Katz and Rabbi Sandy Bogan. And I'm sure I'm going to forget somebody if I don't even think about it, but everybody who has stepped up and will step up, Professor Jason Gaines, who has made a difference in teaching, it's really wonderful. So Ethan's here, and he's going to be teaching Torah study tomorrow, and he also agreed to give a short little Devar Torah in our service. So thanks, Ethan. Come on up.
Shabbat Shalom. The rabbi asked me to give a talk on the Parshat of the week. But in view of what's been happening with Uvalde, I felt the need to speak about that. I cannot get the pain and suffering out of my mind. We watch it on TV and I have to turn it off because it's just too painful. We're in a religious setting, and so my mind asks, where was God in all of this? In the Torah, we see how powerful God is, how he does so many things. Why wasn't God there to do something? I think about my grandchildren, how to explain this horrific event. I find it difficult to understand it myself. How can I possibly explain it to them? How can I explain the anger that festers and boils over in people? But in searching for God in this tragedy, the place that I find God is in striving for a solution, trying to make kids safe for the future. I can understand people wanting guns. I don't see the need for them, but I understand. But I see no reason for assault weapons. They're only good for mass killing. Similarly, I see no reason for having just anyone able to get a gun. Strong background checks should be required. I understand people rely on the Second Amendment, but we all agree there are limits to the Second Amendment. You can't bring home a howitzer. There has to be reasonable limits on what's available for people. And I think the reasonable limits are clearly no assault weapons and background checks. I see people arguing on TV that guns are merely tools and not the problem. That may be true, but I don't want those tools in the hands of people who should not have them. And I don't want those tools to have unlimited power. There are sensible limitations, and we've got to go after those sensible limitations. But I think it doesn't stop there. Though guns are the symptom, they're not the problem. The real issue is the anger in our society. Anger exacerbated by COVID and social media, anger waiting to boil over. Today, people not only have strong opinions, but they believe themselves to be absolutely correct. They're so correct, and it's so obvious that they're correct, that if you disagree with them, you must be evil. We watch political debates where instead of debating ideas, we are involved in character assassination. We see that as the mode of political action in this country, is don't fight the idea, fight the person. We're engaged, as a country, we're engaged in politics of division and personal destruction. A rabbi I have a lot of respect for once said to me, show me someone who believes in their religion, and I can respect that. Show me someone who is absolutely sure their religion is correct, and I'm scared. When I look around and I see people who are so convinced that they're absolutely correct, I get scared. We need to understand the other side, even empathize with the other side, even if we disagree. I believe when you demean or delegitimize the other side, you may win the battle, but you sow the seeds for the next battle and the next war. I had an interesting leader on a board once, and he had a habit of calling up other board members and saying, listen, there's an issue coming up at the next board meeting. This is what I want to do, and I know you disagree with me. I want to make sure you're at the board meeting so the people on the board can hear your opinion. Even when he won, the other people who disagreed with him respected the decision, felt comfortable with the decision, and were comfortable with the organization. That's the kind of leadership we need today. We need a type of healing now. We need a society that can disagree without destroying. We need to avoid just nodding our heads and saying yes, but actually doing it. We need to all work together. If God is to be found at all in this tragedy, it is in the healing that we must do, the repair we must do, the fixing of systems that we must do, and we must fight to stop the hate. And the one thing I have to add is, if God is to be found anywhere, it's in baby namings and bat mitzvahs. I think it rises, it really makes everybody feel so much better after the tragedy of last week, that it's a wonderful event to happen. And I congratulate you all who are participating in it. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you very much, and Yasher Koach to Ethan. During these intermediate days between the major Jewish holidays of Passover and Shavuot, there's a tradition of counting up each day until the 50th day, when we'll celebrate our confirmation students, and we celebrate the giving of the Torah. And the mystics see these days as a chance not only to count up the days and to look forward, but also to count within ourselves the ways that we can develop and grow. And so, Ethan, your words remind me to think of the possibility, Gesundheit, of healing and repair and making things better that we all can have a role in doing as we look to our own growth, our own abilities in these intermediate days. So together, I hope that we can have that as a concept, because the Kabbalists and the Hasidic masters say that just as the grain ripens on the stalk, which is the ancient agricultural meaning behind these days, so too do the human attributes come to fruition if we nourish and cultivate them. So we'll count the Omer together. I invite you to please rise, and we'll turn to page 570. We can say these words together. Hineni muchan u'mizuman mekayem mitzvat aseh shesfirat ha'omer. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of the counting of the Omer, and today is the day after 41. Together we'll read in Hebrew, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat ha'omer. Hayom shnaim ba'arba'im yom shehem shisha shavuot la'omer. Today is the 42nd day, which makes 6 complete weeks of the Omer, which means we're just a week away from our confirmation. Very excited. We'll turn to page 586 as we begin the conclusion of our service with Aleinu L'Shabeach. Aleinu L'Shabeach La'adon HaKol Lateit Gdula Liotzer Bereshit Shelo Asanu Kegoyei Ha'aratzot Velo Samanu Kimishpechot Ha'adama Shelo Sam Chelkeinu Kahem Vegor Aleinu Kechol Amonam V'anachnu Koreim Umishtachavim Umodim Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 591. V'nemar v'haya Adonai L'melech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad. You can have a seat. I see coming up to the bima is Susie Frisch, and she's here to greet us on behalf of our congregation's leadership. Hi, Susie, and thank you for being here tonight.
Shabbat Shalom. A warm welcome to all the guests who are here with us tonight. My name is Susie Frisch, and I am the treasurer on the board of directors. Congratulations and a hearty mazel tov from myself, the board of directors, and the entire congregation to the Aronson family and the Healy family. Tomorrow morning, join us on Zoom for Torah study with Ethan Horowitz to hear more of the story at 9 a.m. At 10:30 a.m., we will gather at CBSRZ in Chester to celebrate Shabbat and to celebrate Devery Aronson becoming a bat mitzvah. This Sunday, Rabbi Moss and the Shoreline Interfaith clergy invite you to gather at 2 p.m. right here on the green in front of the church in the wake of the recent violence in Buffalo, New York, and Uvalde, Texas. Next Friday, Shabbat services will be here on the green, we hope outside in beautiful weather, at 6:30 p.m. And on Saturday morning, we will gather at the Madison Beach Hotel as we celebrate Shabbat and celebrate Tyler Mesrick becoming a bar mitzvah. And next Sunday, June 5th, we will be back at CBSRZ to celebrate Shavuot and to celebrate the confirmation class of 2022. Looking ahead to the following weekend, beginning on Friday, June 10th, will be our Scholar in Residence weekend with the scholar Rabbi Daniel Zemmel. We look forward to seeing you there for Shabbat, for Torah study Saturday morning, and for a wonderful Sip and Schmooze program on Saturday evening. Information about the Scholar in Residence program is in your email. Wishing everybody a wonderful weekend. Mazel tov Devery and Shabbat Shalom.
Okay. As you can tell, there's a lot of exciting things coming up at TBT this spring. So we're looking forward to seeing all of you and to welcoming any family members back anytime you want. You're always welcome at TBT. Well, friends, it's difficult that we have also, while we're celebrating Simchas, to hold all of these things in our heart, the pain in our world, the loss in our world, and the loss too in our lives, as we remember those who passed away in recent days or at this season in time gone by. Our congregation remembers in the period of Shiva, actually in Shloshim now, the 30 days following the loss, Alan Rosenthal, father of Josh, Michael, and Max Rosenthal, the sons of TBT members, Emily and Richard Skolnick. If there's anybody here to say yahrzeit, either on Zoom or here in person, I invite you to please rise and be known among our community as I read your loved one's name, and please stay standing. Terry Brundage, Herman Paul, Stanley Groves, Sloan Rubenstein Gentile, Frida Tessler, Louis Goldstein, Doris Mintz Shapiro, Maureen Dugan, Delma Mueller, Steve Cohen, Rachel Hertzberger, Barbara Horwitz, Elsie Ratner, Harry Weiss, Wendy Gross, Sheila Stanger, Gertrude Freeman. Of course, we hold in our hearts the victims of gun violence in recent days and in recent years, including those in Buffalo and Uvalde and too many other places to name, and we will be sharing the names of those victims one by one on Sunday as we honor them. If there's anybody else who'd like to make yourself known that you're saying Kaddish tonight, I invite you to say the name of your loved one or add it to the chat if you're joining us on Zoom. In solidarity with all the mourners of Israel, I invite us to please rise together as we continue with the mourners' Kaddish, which can be found on page 598. 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divra chirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach le'elam u'li'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, v'yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. May the source of peace bring peace into the lives and hearts of all who grieve this day. As together we can say, amen. Ose shalom b'mromav, uyase shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'yimeru, amen. We can all have a seat, except for Deborah, you and your fam. We need the Aronson clan up here to lead Kiddush. Mom, Dad, little bro, come on up. You have a very special holiday.
Yeah.
Is this another Lipschitz collar? Oh, she's working hard this time. I have to say, you guys are all looking quite jacket. Very excited to celebrate this special. And not just your dad, Yeah, Devery, for those of you who didn't hear, has made it clear that she does not know who this man is. I can see that there's some sassy energy in this family. Tomorrow's going to be fun, huh? All right. So this is for you. You want to hold that? And we'll sing this together. Oh, we're on page one. If you want to follow along for the Kiddush, it's on page 123. This is the long version, okay? Don't worry, we'll sing together. Ready? Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kosho, v'ahava u'ratzon hikilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v're'eshit, yihu yom tefillah, v'nikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'siyat Mitzrayim. Kivanu b'karta, v'tanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat koshecha, v'ahava u'ratzon, himchaltanu v'brech. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh, Shabbat. Like I said, you share with your friends if you want. And I heard that we have another Abby Lipschitz challah. So wherever you are out there in internet land, Abby, thank you for the labor of love that you've given in recent weeks to share your gift of a beautiful challah. I think at the end we can bring, if anybody else will, we'll edit it. Okay, so who's going to take the cover off of that thing? Am I? You want to hold that up so everybody can see it? Not the cover, the collar.
The cover is actually awful.
It's also beautiful. I don't want to take away from the cover. Ooh. Special. Okay. All right, ready? Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min ha'aretz, b'tei avon, which means bon appetit. How's it taste? Pretty good? Nice. All right, well, I'm very excited to celebrate with you, Devery, and your folks, and your brother, and your cousins, and grandparents, and uncles, everybody, your friends. You're gonna have a beautiful service. You're gonna do a wonderful job. You've already started out doing a wonderful job this Shabbat. So Mazel Tov. We're so happy for you at this special time for you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, you guys can have a seat unless you want to stay and sing with me for the last song. Your dad is clearly thinking about it. Yeah. You do have a very enthusiastic singing voice.
You should dance. Only if we can hug while we go.
So remember at the beginning of the service when we did Lecha Dudi, and there's a part that we can all come back to. It's an easy refrain. This one has a similar thing. We sing a few words, and then this melody comes. Yada-dai, dai-dai, da-da-dai, dai. Can we all try that? Yada-dai, dai-dai, yada-dai, dai. That comes back all the time, so don't lose that. This song, friends, it's called Olam Chesed Yibaneh, which comes from the Psalms, and the idea is that we need more chesed in the world. We need more love. We need more kindness. We need more loyalty. We need to build up the world. Olam chesed yibaneh. Let the world be loved. Let it be built through love. So here are the words. It's very simple. 3 Hebrew words. Olam chesed yibaneh. And our refrain. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Won't you try with me? Olam chesed yivaneh. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Olam chesed yivaneh. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da. Same words, a little different melody. Olam chesed yivaneh. Same refrain. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da. Exactly. Olam chesed yivaneh. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da. I will build this world from love. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And you will build this world from love. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da. If we build, and if we build this world from love, ta-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, then God will build, this world from love. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's a little bit like what you were saying, Ethan, right? If we build this world from love, individually and together, then God will do it too. We have to be partners. We have to put in the work. It's not just in heaven's hands, it's in ours. Let's sing it one more time. Olam chesed yivaneh. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Olam chesed yivaneh. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Olam chesed yivaneh. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Olam chesed yivaneh. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Let's sing the translation and actually try to believe it. Try to internalize it, that it's in our hands, but we can do it too. I must build this world from love. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And you must build this world from love. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. If we build this world from love, ta-da-da-da-da-da-da, then God will build. And God will build this world from love. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, everyone, it's been wonderful to celebrate Shabbat together. Cantor Boyle, I see you out there on Zoom. We've missed you. We hope you'll feel better. We will miss you this weekend. And to Debri and your family, again, Mazel Tov. We look forward to continuing to celebrate Shabbat with you as our next Bat Mitzvah tomorrow morning. Friends, Adonai, Oz La'amo Yiten, Adonai Varech et Amo V'Shalom. God will bless God's people with peace. God will give us strength to do the work. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Olam chesed yivaneh. Olam chesed yivaneh. Help yourselves, guys.
Feel better, Cantor.
Olam chesed yivaneh. Levi, would you give me a solid? Would you take that call into the lobby?